The hospital corridor fell silent whenever Commander Marcus Hale was wheeled past, his scarred face pale under harsh fluorescent lights, his once feared reputation echoing louder than the rhythmic beeping of machines. Nurses avoided eye contact, doctors spoke in hushed tones, and rumors spread like wildfire about the decorated Navy SEAL who had returned from war shattered in both body and spirit. Some said he had screamed at staff, others claimed he refused treatment, and a few whispered that no one could reach the hardened commander anymore. His room became a place people feared entering, a battlefield no one wanted to step onto. Yet on one cold winter morning in a military hospital in San Diego, California, everything began to change when a new nurse named Rachel Carter walked through those doors, unaware that her compassion would challenge the impossible. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because stories like this remind us why hope still matters. Rachel was young, but carried an old soul, shaped by years of caring for her injured father back in Ohio. She arrived at the hospital with quiet determination, her warm smile contrasting the tense atmosphere around Marcus's ward. Staff members warned her about the commander's temper and emotional walls, advising her to keep interactions brief and professional. Still, Rachel saw something different when she glanced at Marcus's chart. Countless surgeries, severe trauma, and signs of deep psychological scars that no medication could fully heal. She noticed how the once strong leader lay isolated, trapped between pain and memories that refused to fade. Instead of fear, she felt empathy growing within her, a steady conviction that beneath the commander's anger was a man drowning silently, waiting for someone brave enough to reach him. Marcus had been a legend in his unit, known for fearless leadership and unbreakable resilience during dangerous missions overseas. But after a devastating explosion claimed several of his closest teammates and left him critically injured, he returned home haunted by survivors' guilt and relentless nightmares. The hospital environment felt like a prison, filled with reminders of vulnerability he had never allowed himself to show. Doctors focused on physical recovery, yet his emotional wounds deepened each day. When Rachel entered his room for the first time, she observed not a monster but a soldier who had lost his sense of purpose. She took extra time during routine care, moving slowly and respectfully, allowing silence to build trust where words often failed. Days turned into weeks as Rachel continued to show patience, even when Marcus withdrew into long periods of silence or frustration. She made small but meaningful changes, adjusting lighting to make the room feel less sterile, placing a small American flag on the shelf to remind him of the pride he once carried, and encouraging physical therapy sessions with gentle persistence. Other staff noticed that Marcus's tense posture softened slightly during her visits, and the once hostile atmosphere began to feel less suffocating. Rachel believed that healing required more than procedures, it demanded connection and dignity. Her unwavering presence planted a seed of trust that slowly cracked the commander's hardened exterior. One evening, after a difficult therapy session left Marcus exhausted and discouraged, Rachel stayed longer than required, documenting his progress while quietly acknowledging his perseverance through gestures rather than conversations. She learned about his former team through medical notes and arranged for a veteran support counselor named Thomas Green to visit, believing that shared experiences might ease his burden. The first meeting was tense, but it marked the beginning of Marcus confronting his trauma instead of hiding from it. The staff who once avoided the room started noticing subtle changes, fewer outbursts, more cooperation, and moments where Marcus stared out the window with something resembling hope. As Marcus's recovery progressed, Rachel encouraged activities that reignited his sense of leadership. She organized small physical challenges with therapists, celebrating minor victories like standing unassisted or completing exercises without hesitation. She also introduced him to another recovering veteran named Jonathan Pierce, whose optimism slowly influenced Marcus's outlook. Together, they began to rebuild confidence through shared struggles. Rachel remained the steady force guiding the process, offering encouragement through consistent care, an unwavering belief that he could reclaim his strength. The hospital staff gradually transformed from fearful observers into supportive teammates, inspired by the transformation unfolding before them. The turning point arrived during a critical medical setback when Marcus faced the possibility of losing mobility permanently. The news hit him like another explosion, threatening to erase months of progress. Many feared he would shut down completely, but Rachel refused to let despair win. She coordinated with surgeons, therapists, and counselors, advocating tirelessly for advanced treatment options. Her determination sparked renewed effort from the entire team, creating a collaborative environment focused on holistic healing. Marcus, witnessing her relentless support, began pushing himself harder than ever, determined not to let her faith in him go unanswered. Recovery was neither fast nor easy, but the impossible started becoming reality. Marcus took his first independent steps during therapy, tears silently falling as years of pain seemed to loosen their grip. The once feared commander became a symbol of resilience within the hospital, inspiring other patients who watched his progress with admiration. Rachel's influence extended beyond medical care. She reminded him of his humanity, his leadership, and the possibility of redemption beyond war. Nurses who once hesitated to enter his room now celebrated milestones with genuine smiles, proving how compassion could transform even the most intimidating environments. Months later, Marcus stood in the hospital courtyard under a bright Californian sky, leaning slightly on a cane but walking forward with determination. He began volunteering to mentor newly admitted veterans, sharing lessons about resilience and healing. Rachel watched from a distance, proud yet humble, understanding that true success lay not in recognition, but in witnessing someone rediscover purpose. The hospital administration recognized her dedication, but the greatest reward was seeing Marcus reconnect with life, laughing with fellow patients, participating in therapy willingly, and finally expressing gratitude through simple gestures that spoke louder than any words. Special request, before we reach the ending, drop a comment below telling us if you've ever witnessed a moment where kindness changed someone's life. Your story might inspire others reading along. In the final days of Marcus's recovery, the hospital hosted a small ceremony honoring veterans who had overcome extraordinary challenges. Marcus stood among them, no longer defined by fear, but by courage and growth. He acknowledged the entire medical team, emphasizing how collective compassion saved him when he felt beyond repair. Rachel stood quietly at the edge of the crowd, reflecting on how a single decision to care deeply could ripple outward and transform countless lives. The man everyone once feared had become a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that wounds, physical or emotional, could heal when met with patience, understanding, and unwavering belief. If this story touched your heart or inspired you in any way, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to support more stories that remind us how powerful kindness can be. As the sun set over San Diego, Marcus walked out of the hospital not just as a survivor, but as a renewed leader ready to serve others through compassion rather than combat. Rachel returned to her duties, knowing there would be more patients, more struggles, and more chances to make a difference. Their journey became a living testament that even the most broken souls can find light when someone dares to believe in them. And in that quiet, hopeful ending, the impossible was no longer a myth. It was proof that one act of empathy can rewrite a life forever.